What if the thoughts you repeat every single day are secretly shaping your future relationships, your peace of mind, and the direction of your entire life? And what if one ancient Roman emperor already figured out how to master them? Before we go any further, make sure you subscribe to the channel, like this video, and promise yourself you'll watch until the very end, because what we're about to explore doesn't just change how you think, it can genuinely change your love life, your inner confidence, and the way you show up in the world. Imagine waking up tomorrow with a calm mind, steady emotions, and a quiet confidence that no chaos, rejection, or uncertainty could shake. Imagine becoming someone who doesn't chase validation, doesn't fear loss, and doesn't crumble when life gets uncomfortable. This isn't motivational fantasy. This is Stoicism, and no one embodied it more deeply than Marcus Aurelius. This video is a comprehensive guide to the keyword. Marcus Aurelius suggestions for that title, a complete Stoicism guide to change your life in 2026. And as strange as it sounds, the lessons of a Roman emperor who ruled nearly 2,000 years ago may be exactly what you need to thrive in the modern world. Marcus Aurelius wasn't born into comfort and certainty. He lived in a time of war, betrayal, disease, and political pressure that would crush most people today. He lost children, faced constant threats to his power, and ruled an empire on the edge of collapse. Yet in the middle of all that chaos, he wrote private notes to himself, what we now know as meditations. These weren't written to impress anyone. They were reminders, anchors, tools for survival. And what makes these writings so powerful is that they were never meant for history books. They were meant for mornings when motivation was gone, for nights when fear crept in, for moments when anger, jealousy, or desire threatened to take control. Let me tell you a short story. Picture Marcus Aurelius sitting alone in his tent during a military campaign. Outside, soldiers are restless. The future is uncertain. He could be betrayed at any moment. Instead of panicking, instead of indulging fear, he opens his journal and writes words meant to discipline his own mind. Not to escape reality, but to face it clearly. That's where the first suggestion begins. Marcus Aurelius reminds us to begin each day by preparing for difficulty, not in a pessimistic way, but in a realistic one. He tells himself that today he will meet people who are rude, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, and selfish. And instead of being shocked by this, he accepts it in advance. This single idea can transform your relationships and your emotional stability. When you stop expecting life to be fair and people to behave perfectly, you stop being constantly disappointed. You stop taking everything personally. In love, this matters deeply. When you expect perfection from others, you create pressure and resentment. When you expect imperfection, you create patience and understanding. The second suggestion is about control, and more importantly, about letting go. Marcus Aurelius teaches that you must clearly separate what is within your control from what is not. Your thoughts, actions, and values belong to you. Other people's opinions, behaviors, and feelings do not. Think about how much anxiety comes from trying to control outcomes, trying to control whether someone likes you, whether a relationship lasts, whether people approve of your choices. Stoicism cuts through this illusion. You focus on being honorable, calm, and disciplined, and let the rest unfold as it will. This mindset alone can make you more attractive, more grounded, and more trustworthy, because confidence grows when you stop begging reality to bend to your will. The third suggestion Marcus Aurelius gives is to remember the impermanence of everything. He constantly reminds himself that all things fade: fame, power, beauty, and even life itself. At first, this sounds dark, but it's actually freeing. When you understand that everything is temporary, you stop clinging desperately. You love more honestly. You appreciate more deeply. You argue less over meaningless things. In relationships, this awareness teaches you presence. You stop treating moments as guaranteed and start treating them as precious. The fourth suggestion is about ego and how quietly destructive it can be. Marcus Aurelius repeatedly warns himself not to act for applause, recognition, or praise. He believed that living according to virtue was enough. When you live to impress others, you become a slave to their reactions. When you live according to your principles, you become unshakable. This is especially important in the modern world of social media and constant comparison. Stoicism teaches you to measure your life not by attention, but by integrity. And when you move through life with quiet self-respect, people feel it. The fifth suggestion is to practice voluntary discomfort. Marcus Aurelius believed that occasionally choosing discomfort, simple food, modest living, mental restraint, strengthens the mind. When you train yourself to be okay with less, you are no longer controlled by fear of loss. This builds emotional resilience. You stop fearing rejection. You stop needing constant reassurance. You become stable, not because life is easy, but because you are prepared. The sixth suggestion is about mastering your inner dialogue. Marcus Aurelius understood that the quality of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts. He warned himself against exaggeration, catastrophizing, and emotional storytelling. If someone ignores you, the event is neutral. The story you tell yourself determines your pain. Stoicism trains you to pause, observe, and respond rationally. This skill alone can save relationships, careers, and mental health. The seventh suggestion focuses on compassion without weakness. Marcus Aurelius believed that people act poorly out of ignorance, not evil. This perspective doesn't excuse bad behavior, but it prevents hatred from poisoning your mind. You can set boundaries without resentment. You can walk away without bitterness. This balance is powerful. It makes you calm, not cold. Strong, not aggressive. The eighth suggestion is about aligning your actions with your values. Marcus Aurelius constantly asked himself whether his actions reflected who he wanted to be. Not what felt good in the moment, but what was right. This creates internal harmony. When your actions match your values, you experience less regret, less shame, and more self-respect. In relationships, this means showing up honestly, communicating clearly, and acting with intention. The ninth suggestion is to remember your place in the larger whole. Marcus Aurelius saw himself as a small part of a vast universe. This humbled him and grounded him. Your problems feel lighter when you realize they are not the center of existence. This doesn't minimize your pain. It puts it in perspective. You become less reactive, less dramatic, and more thoughtful. The 10th and final suggestion is perhaps the most powerful of all. Live as if this day were your last chance to be virtuous. Not perfect, not successful, virtuous. This doesn't mean reckless living. It means intentional living. Saying what matters, acting with courage, loving without fear, forgiving without delay. When you live this way, you stop postponing growth. You stop waiting for the perfect time. You become fully present. Now let me bring this all together. Stoicism isn't about suppressing emotion. It's about mastering it. It's not about detachment from love. It's about loving without dependence. It's not about becoming cold. It's about becoming free. Marcus Aurelius didn't write these lessons to escape life. He wrote them to engage with it more deeply, more honestly, and more courageously. And if you apply these principles consistently, something remarkable happens. Your mind becomes quieter. Your reactions slow down. Your confidence becomes natural, and the way people experience you begins to change. This is why I asked you to watch this video all the way through. Because these ideas don't just improve productivity or discipline, they reshape how you relate to yourself and others. And yes, they can absolutely transform your love life by making you calmer, more self-aware, and more emotionally grounded. So if this message resonated with you, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and carry these lessons with you into 2026 and beyond. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time,